triple-double night in and night out. Biggest second-half headline, though, is out in L.A. LeBron and Luka teaming up together, the push for the postseason. What are your expectations for that roster come playoff time?
Man, my expectation for the Lakers, I mean, it can be anywhere going up because, I mean, this will be the first year where they don't really have a complete roster to go with Luka because everything happened at the trade deadline. But I do feel like that the roster that they have is good enough for when Luka gets all the way complete and him and LeBron get to hit a good stride together, regardless of where they land as far as their final record and where they land in the playoffs. I still feel that those two and Luka is special enough to really turn it up and try and go. I mean, the sky's the ceiling for them. I don't feel like they really have a ceiling at this point, and whatever they do, it's just gravy train because really I feel like their best year going for it will be next year when they have a summer to come and could put some more pieces around Luka. But whatever they do this year is just gravy train. I feel like Luka is special enough to hit a good drive where they can go past whatever round they're supposed to go this year, but even without their complete roster.
The sky is the ceiling. I love that. Lakers have the third best odds to win the conference and make the finals behind only OKC and Denver. Q, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
Now, the Lakers are favored to win in each of their first 9 games after the All-Star break, according to ESPN Analytics. Their post-All-Star break slate begins at home against the Hornets on Wednesday. Then on February 25th, Luka Doncic will face his former team when the Mavericks ended. And so Knecht is now back in L.A. You were just at his media availability. And so what more can you tell us about what is happening with Dalton Knecht?
Yeah, think about this whirlwind for the rookie Knecht for the Lakers. One day he's at the Lakers practice facility going through his free throw routine before he goes through his regular shooting. He gets to free throw 20 out of 25, and he's called up to Rob Pelinka's office, informed that he's traded. Then he reports to Charlotte the next day, goes through the physical, meets the team, meets the coaching staff, flies with Charlotte to Detroit, getting ready for his debut game against the Pistons with the Hornets on Sunday. On Saturday, he gets called from Rob Pelinka again. Hey, the trade is rescinded. You're coming back to L.A. It's been a whirlwind, but his first taste back with the Lakers was, the Dalton Knecht we're used to. He scored 10 points against the Jazz the other night. He told me that his message to both J.J. Redick and Rob Pelinka is all the other stuff is in the past. I'm just here to play ball, and he believes that the Lakers can do something special this year.
So I heard he said it felt like a movie. You want to know what's going to be the real movie? When the Lakers host the Mavericks on 2/25. That's what we're waiting for. Dave McMenamin, I know you'll be on hand for that. Thank you, Dave.
Right, family vacation time, but couldn't stay away for too long. I gotta talk about this topic. So Brian Windhorst said this about the Lakers and Austin Reaves. He said, I honestly believe the issue is Austin Reaves. He's the guy that needs the ball in his hands. They're probably going to have to diminish the ball in Austin Reaves' hands and put it more in Luka's hands and let Luka operate with the ball. So I think there's a couple things there that we really need to get into, and I think it's informative of what the Lakers offense is really going to be moving forward as the team gears itself around Luka Doncic for the foreseeable future, right? They're hoping that he can be their star for the next 10 plus years. Now, I do think the ball is going to need to be in the hands of Luka Doncic. That's where he's at his best. He's not at his best as an off-ball player. He's best when he can be Luka Magic. When he's got the ball, he's throwing insane passes, he's hitting step-back threes, he's getting into the paint, he's going at his own pace. That's what allows Luka to be Luka. So I think that Windy is on the money when it comes to Luka needing the basketball in order to have success. But saying the issue for the Lakers is Austin Reaves, I think that's actually overstating things. Now, when we look at this, is it a issue at all with Austin? Well, yeah, to a degree, right? Essentially what we've seen the Lakers do, now that they've added Luka to the mix, is they've gone back to the old problem that they used to have when they had D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reaves on their roster. Now, the Lakers, when they had D'Lo and they had Austin, that's a lot of offensive versatility, but the problem's on the defensive side of the ball, particularly when it's Rui Hachimura at the 3, and I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute. But they had Rui at the 3. That is a very porous defense. They were one of the worst defenses in the NBA for the beginning parts of the season. In fact, they were so bad that when it came to a missed shot from the Lakers and a defensive rebound for their opponents, it was effectively the same as a live ball turnover, where teams were able to run on the Lakers because they simply could not get back defensively. It was a big problem, but one they have rectified over the last month, 6 weeks or so, since we've seen D'Angelo Russell traded out and Dorian Finney-Smith brought in. And that's not necessarily an indictment of D'Angelo Russell. I think he's a talented player. He's a good player. I'm a big fan of his game. But I thought in terms of the fit with this Lakers roster, Dorian Finney-Smith has actually changed this team around quite a bit. In addition to Jared Vanderbilt, his inclusion, they've got more size on the wings now. But you've gone back to the problem that you used to have. For a while there, we had Austin and Max Christie as your 1 and your 2. And Max Christie being a very solid defensive player. Of course, he was sent out in the no-brainer trade that the Lakers had to make in order to get Luka Doncic. But Max Christie was sent out in the deal, and now you go back to having 2 players in your backcourt that are defensively deficient. It's Austin Reaves and Luka Doncic in the same backcourt together. So I think that while Windy is right, like in some ways this is an issue, I don't think the offensive end is really where that's at. And the reason why is because Austin is very good as an off-ball player. He shoots well from deep. Now, the ball has been in his hands more than ever before. His usage rate is the highest it's ever been in his career, and he's posting some phenomenal numbers, especially since D'Angelo Russell was traded and Austin has taken over the lead guard role for the Lakers. He's been really fantastic for the club. But is it really the offensive end that's the problem? No. Look, does Austin need to sacrifice a little bit and have the ball out of his hands a little bit more? Yeah, actually, he probably does in order to get the ball into the hands of Luka Doncic, and that is a worthwhile sacrifice for the Lakers. That's going to be a net positive, getting the ball into the hands of Luka. Now, Austin's not the only one. LeBron is also going to have to sacrifice a bit on the offensive end and cede some organization responsibilities to Luka. He's going to have to be the initiator for the offense, and that's how you're going to get the best out of him. Through 2 games so far as a Laker, the Lakers have not gotten the best out of Luka Doncic, but I believe better days are coming. Why? Well, it's simple. He has a long career of having insane numbers that he's putting up: rebounds, assists, points, all of the above. The scoring, everything that he does has been very high level. Has not been the case through just 2 games. It's a tiny sample size. I'm going to buy that what we've seen over the course of his career is more accurate in terms of what Luka really is than just what we've seen in 2 games here as a Los Angeles Laker. But if they really want to unlock Luka, and some of it may come down to health, he's got to make sure that that calf injury is completely healed and that he's at 100% in terms of his conditioning. I do think there is a bit of a conditioning concern right now with Luka, but if you want to get the best out of him, and clearly the Lakers have invested in doing that. You gave up significant pieces in Anthony Davis, in Max Christie, in a future unprotected first-round pick. Again, I've said it many times, this was a no-brainer trade. It's a steal for the Lakers. It's one that you do 100 times out of 100, but you still did give significant assets in order to get Luka, and the Lakers are very invested in him being their future. So that being the case, that means Austin, LeBron, they're going to have to give up some of those initiator responsibilities to Luka, because the goal now has to be getting the best out of Luka Doncic, not necessarily getting 100% out of Austin Reaves, 100% efficiency out of LeBron James either. So Luka has got to be the focal point now. The problem really comes in on the defensive side of the ball. Now, Windy mentions the offensive side, how Austin's not going to have the ball in his hands as much. Again, I'm not all that worried about that because Austin's really good off ball, just like LeBron.